You know, I run Empowered STEM. Empowered STEM is an A-level course provider, and we provide A-level courses in biology, chemistry, physics, and maths for those students that want to enroll in medical, dental, veterinary, financial, and engineering programs at the chosen university in the UK. So today, I wanted to come in and talk about this one. It's how to help your teen start the school year with purpose and precision. Because parents, you know how it is. It's September and they start the school year. It's a fresh start. They've got brand new books. They've got some new routines that they're going to follow. They've got some goals that they want to achieve. And everything seems to be going great, doesn't it? Until the honeymoon wears off, normally around Christmas time. And then all of a sudden they become demotivated. They don't want to study. They don't want to revise. They don't want to put in the time, effort, and attention. The novelty has worn off and the grade begins to spiral downwards. Now, I borrow this one from Stephen Covey. He says, start with the end in mind. And it's the same with your teen. For your teen, at Empowered STEM, what we know is this, is how your teen starts the academic school year is how they're going to finish the academic school year. So this is what we'll discuss in this live stream. I'll show you in this live stream how your teen can start the academic school year with the three things that they need: purpose, precision, and confidence, so that they can stay on track for earning the A and the A star in A-level maths and A-level science. This is the problem that we have. Your teen is starting the school year without strategy. It's like going down to the gym and being all motivated that you're going to go down to the gym. You bought a gym membership and you just walk into the gym and you decide on the day, on that moment, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm doing free weights today, or I'm doing machines today, or I'm doing cardio today. Not exactly the best plan. So I'll give you A for effort, at least you showed up, but not the best plan. What you really need to do is you need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy. So possibly meet with a personal trainer, come up with a 12-week workout plan, learn how to use the free weights and the machines and the cardio equipment safely. Maybe talk to a dietitian. In other words, build out a plan, build out a roadmap for success. Well, this is just somebody going down to the gym. Surely, I think you would agree that if you're talking about your teens' A-level success on the exams, that's going to predict whether they get into medical, dental, veterinary, financial, or engineering programs, the chosen university in the UK, whether they become competitive candidates, it would require a bit of planning. It would require a bit of strategy. And so they maximize all the time and the effort and the attention that they give to their studies. But what we find is this, is that students just dive into the lessons. They just said, well, yes, you know what? I'm in lesson. I've got my notebook. I've got my pens. I'm taking notes. I'm paying attention. I'm doing the homework. I'm going to the help session that the teacher put on. I'm memorizing mark schemes. I'm doing everything I should be doing. And they don't get the result. And the reason they don't get the result is because they don't have any clear goals and they don't have any clear systems in place to help them achieve what they want to achieve. And unfortunately, teens, what they can do is that they can confuse busyness with progress. And so on the onboarding calls with the teens that we talk to at Empowered STEM, normally we find out that, yes, they're really busy. They're at the desk every night. They're studying. They're revising. They're memorizing mark schemes. They're busy. They're copying over notes. They're watching YouTube videos. They're busy. Now, by the way, we call this passive learning. But what they're doing is that they're revising randomly instead of strategically. So they have this block of time to do A-level chemistry, for example, and they're not using it strategically. They're just revising very first thing that comes to mind that they've got to do, or they're putting a fire out. They have to get this done because it's due tomorrow or in a couple of days. And then, parents, what happens is this, is that, well, I know that you want to help, but what you do, agree with me if you want, but what you do is this, is that you focus on reminders rather than routines. And so you focus on reminding your son, your daughter, did you study today? Did you do your homework? Are you ready for the test tomorrow? Rather than the routine of studying, saying, did you study this week? Did you revise this week? Have you prepared for the exam tomorrow? Focusing on the routines rather than the to-do list. Now, what we know at Empower STEM is this. Look, it's not more, it isn't about doing more. We have this saying, you don't work hard, you work smart. So it's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters with clarity and consistency. Just slowing down, coming up with a plan, a map, a strategy, following through, but being really clear of what you're doing so that every minute counts. It's like working out at the gym with a personal trainer for an hour. I don't know if you've done this one, but I have. And quite honestly, you get more work done in an hour with a personal trainer than you do on your own because he has a very clear vision of what he wants you to do, the goal he wants you to achieve, the routines, the weights, the focus, the clarity is all there. Now, there's four steps to this one. First one is this one. You need to define the purpose. Because if your teen has a purpose as to what they're doing in A-level chemistry, for example, then it gives them direction. It gives them something to focus on. Without it, well, like I said, motivation begins to fade around October when they start to get the burnout. We see it around Christmas time. The next one is February, the burnout. Those students that don't have purpose, they don't know why they're doing what they're doing. So what you need to do is you need to help them out, parents. You need to ask them a simple question. Why are you studying A-level chemistry or A-level biology or A-level maths? Why? And then link it in to the university aspirations, the chosen degree, and the long-term goals. Now, this one, it's all about motivation. But what you're doing is that you're refocusing your teen's mind on the next level up. Because otherwise, the saying is, you can't see the forest for the trees. And so if they're just thinking, oh, well, I'm just taking A-level biology because, well, signed up for it and I thought it's a good idea. They're not going to stay focused as long as somebody who says, why am I studying A-level biology? Oh, simple. I want to go to this university and I want to be a medical doctor. And this is the type of doctor that I want to be. Like one of our students, Fatima, right? Why are you studying A-level biology? Because I want to go to UEA and I want to be a cardiothoracic surgeon. She had purpose and she walked out with an A star. The next thing you need to do is you need to link goals to identity. Now, I know parents, we're coming at this one. There's a lot of motivational speak coming in on this one, but you've got to link goals to identity. All right. Because again, and this is from the psychology of motivation, but you have beliefs, behaviors, and values. And above it is your identity. And above it is your purpose. Okay. And so what you need to do is you need to link your teen's goals to an identity. So again, don't say, well, how's it going in A-level biology? No, it's going okay. Why are you studying it? Well, because I want to go to so-and-so medical school, right? Link the goal to the identity. And so they understand that they're becoming the type of person that they need to become in order to earn the A or the A star. All right. So you could say they could say something like, well, no, mom, dad, I'm not just studying A-level biology. I'm training how to think like a future medic, a vet, or an engineer. You see, you're linking it to a future identity, something which they can walk into. They can become an empowered STEM. This is exactly what we do. We help your teen rewire their brain, rewire their thinking. And so they naturally they take on the identity of the A star student who thinks like a medic, a dentist, a vet, an engineer. And so therefore everything aligns. You've got the mission, you've got the identity, you've got the beliefs, the behaviors, and the values all in perfect alignment. And when you get that, then you have motivation, which is unstoppable. Something else you can do, parents, is known as a vision anchor. And again, vision is what they see themselves doing in the future. And it's this one. A vision anchor helps them link the effort that they're putting in today with the opportunity that they'll get tomorrow. So, for example, if we go back to the working out example, it could be something like, I'm putting effort in today to go down to the gym and eat clean and healthy because then tomorrow I will look fitter. Right? So for your teen, it could be something like, I'm studying to be an A-level chemist. I'm putting the time and the effort and the energy in to be an A-level chemist today so that I can get the A star in A-level chemistry tomorrow and then be a competitive candidate for medical school. Now, once you get the purpose going, once you light the fire underneath the purpose, parents, what you notice is this, is that purpose, once they're aligned to a purpose fuels persistence. And the reason why they need persistence, they need resilience, if you want to quote Carol Dweck, is this one, is because persistence helps you get through the times when it gets tough. You know, when they don't get the grade that they want on a test or an exam or a lab report or a homework set, right? And they got to keep going. They have to brush themselves off, get up, and keep going. And if they have a purpose, something which they're totally aligned to, well, then they can walk through the molasses of things going wrong for the day because it's going to happen to them on the journey up to the A or the A star in A-level maths and A-level science. So we talked about defining the purpose. The next one then is that we need to give them some systems that they can use. A proven system, a proven pathway. Like, for example, the system that we use at Empowered STEM. Ours is a 4-step pathway to A-star success. It's a proven pathway. Number one is precision diagnosis. They need to start at the beginning and they need to understand this is what I know and this is what I don't know. Why? So I don't waste my time revising and studying what I know. I work on filling in the gaps of what I don't know. So number one, precision diagnosis. Number two, conceptual clarity. They need to build a really solid foundation when it comes to the understanding of A-level biology, chemistry, or maths. They need to have a solid foundation so they understand it forwards and backwards, front and backwards, around and around. It doesn't matter. They get it. No matter what the question is that the examiner throws them, they're always going to be able to write down the correct answer. Number three, and this is the big one, strategic revision. Again, there is a difference between studying and revising randomly, just like going down to the gym and randomly picking some exercise to do, and studying and revising with clarity, with purpose, with a vision in mind. And at Empowered STEM, we teach your teen how to study, how to revise with purpose. And the fourth step in the pathway is medical mindset. They need to take on the identity of the medical student, the dental student, the vet student, the engineer at university. They need to take that on now. And so they'll get the grades in A-level maths and science that they need, which means that then they can be competitive candidates and survive and get the grades that they need at university. So it's a transformational shift in what they've done from GCSE up to A levels. Now, step 3, we need to create momentum early. So we need to get in their parents on day 1 and help them get going with this one, put them on the right path, and then let them proceed down the path to the A and the A star. So, for example, you can do things like help them set up a study schedule, put it on the fridge in the kitchen so they know when they're studying and what they're studying each and every day. Now, in the previous live stream, parents, we did talk about this one, that your teen does need help and support putting together a study plan because the organizational skills are not that great. They're not developed yet. And so, but help them put together a study schedule with consistent study blocks, because as we talked about earlier, previous live stream, the mind likes consistency. Help them review their notes. Help them do past paper questions. Help them study effectively. Encourage them to do this. Okay? Not just sit there and watch a YouTube video or copy the notes over and think, oh, I got this perfect. Okay? There's a difference between passive learning and active learning. And also have the mindset of, we're not catching up, we're staying current. Because what we normally find is that students have this mindset of, oh, I am behind, and so therefore I will catch up. How about saying, no, you're just going to stay current with where you should be. At the end of the week, a little tick box going in your notebook, and you've done everything that you should have done. Step 4 is that we need to build accountability and not pressure. Now, this is the big one, parents, because look, I know you mean well for your teen. You want your son, your daughter to get the A or the A star in A-level maths and A-level science. Got it. But there's a difference between being a referee in the game, handing out cards, red cards, you did this wrong, you didn't do this, have you done this, micromanaging, and being the coach on the sidelines, helping them play the game on their terms and get the success that they need. So rather than say, have you done your studying today for A-level chemistry? Did you do it? Have you read the two pages in the textbook? Have you done the homework that the teacher set? Switch it, because if you say, have you, it is a yes, no answer. It's a closed question. Switch it to, what's your plan for studying this week? What are you working on? What went well in A-level chemistry last week? Help them take accountability for their own studying. Teens like to be accountable for what they're doing. They don't like to be told what to do. They like to be autonomous. They like to come up with the idea themselves. And so help them do that. Help them take ownership of their learning and help them go into a feedback loop. And the feedback loop is quite simple. What did you do? What needs to be improved? Do it again. It's just a circle. Now, 4 steps, parents. As always, parents ask me, well, yes, but Graham, do you have a story? The student success. Yes, let me tell you about Sophia. No, Sophia, when Sophia came to us, she had a D in A-level chemistry. she'd been predicted an A star in A level chemistry, but things weren't going too well in year 13. And what we found is that she wanted to be a dentist. She wanted to go to King's, but so she had the purpose. But the issue was she didn't have the systems in place in order to study, in order to revise efficiently. She'd lost momentum because she'd had a couple of bad grades. And her parents were really just doing the tick box. Have you studied? Have you done this? Have you done this? They were trying, but not really being helpful. So what did we do? Well, as always, had a conversation with her. We found out what the weakness was in her plan. And the purpose was there. The mission was there. She wants to be a dentist. All right. This is her mission in life, is what she wanted to do. But we put into place the precision systems that I talked about, the 4-step plan. And what happened is this, is that within 16 weeks, she's on an A-level chemistry course, 16 weeks, she moved her grade from getting D's at school to getting A's at school. And guess what? When she took the final exam in A-level chemistry, she got an A star. And she became a competitive candidate for dental school. She got into King's, which was her top choice university to go to. And she went on to become a dentist. Why? Well, because she had the vision, she had the purpose, she had the mission, she had the identity. Problem was, she didn't have the one bit that was missing was the plan, the systems that she needed to put into place. Now, parents, if what I'm saying to you makes sense, if you're saying, you know what, Graham, you have to admit, you come on to the Facebook and the YouTube, and you're always doing these live streams for us. You're always giving us some tips and strategies and techniques that we can use to help our teens walk the path to the A and the A star. I really appreciate that. And I want to learn more about what you do. Well, it's easy. If you're on Facebook, just subscribe, join, follow the business page on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and then you can access all the previous live streams that we do every week, and you can watch those as well. And you'll also be notified of when the next live stream is coming up. Now, parents, if you're also thinking, well, I'd like to learn more about these courses that you offer at Empowered STEM, then it's really easy. There's a link in the description on Facebook, and it's a link on the description on the YouTube below the video itself, which you can click on and you fill out a simple form, and a member of my team will reach out to you and have a non-sales conversation. It's a really easy conversation that we have. What we do is this, is we find out where your teen is academically, what their predicted grades are, their aspirational grades are, what university they want to go to, what they want to do on the outside. And so we find out where your teen is going in their academic journey. And then we tell you about our courses. This is what we do at Empowered STEM. This is it. And if there's a match between what your teen wants and our course, if you think as a parent that, yes, my teen would be a good fit for your course, and we think that your teen would be a good fit for our course, you can ask all the questions that you want, be well informed, well taken care of, and then you can make an informed decision on whether you want to take the next step with us. Everybody take care, and I'll see you on the next one.